Hi there, I'm Mike Barbanica. I wanted to get a follow-up to you on my last video regarding sideshows. So Tuesday night, we had a council meeting in the city of Antioch. Those of you that have been following me for the last 3.5+ years know that sideshows have been very important to me to resolve the issue. Unfortunately, I have not always had the support to get the issue resolved, or it was halfway support. Let's go after people who are organizing these. Let's go after people who are setting these things up, essentially sitting behind a computer somewhere, which is a ridiculous way to approach this. The reality is, instead of going after the one person, let's go after the many that are there, and that's my perspective. Yes, let's still go after the one person who is setting up the sideshows, but these are wreaking havoc in our cities. Absolute havoc. We've had situations in East County where Con Fire has not been able to get engines through because they're tied up and they can't get through traffic because of sideshows. We've had people promoting sideshows. We've had businesses in East County that have brought sideshows in that have later resulted in roving sideshows throughout East County. This has got to stop. So I have pushed all along to cite people that are participating in sideshows. Now, there's been some folks that have shown up that have said, well, if we're caught in a sideshow, we don't want to be cited. Well, of course, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about active participants. Here's my view. If you're an active participant in a sideshow, it's quite a bit different than somebody who is sitting stuck in a sideshow and can't get out. The argument has come up, well, what if I'm videoing this because I want to turn it over to the police? If that's the case, when the police show up, go right to the officer and say, "Your officer, here's my phone. I have video of a sideshow," but we're not seeing that occur. That is being used as an excuse. Well, I'm only filming it because I want to be able to turn it over to the police. Yet miraculously, very few, if any, of these videos show up. So that's a ridiculous excuse. Officers will be able to determine the difference between somebody stuck in a sideshow beyond their control and somebody who is an active participant videoing it, cheering it on, yelling and screaming for this thing to continue, parking their cars and getting out and surrounding the sideshows. We're talking about two very different participants. One is just stuck, the other one is an active participant, and that's what we're talking about. Here's my view on that. If you're an active participant in a sideshow, you need to be cited. I've pushed for this ordinance. We had the first reading of the ordinance Tuesday. Now, let me back up. If you remember previously, I pushed for this and it got watered down. Well, let's just cite the organizer. Well, that's ridiculous. Let's cite everybody. And so if an officer shows up and you're an active participant, or you're actually in the sideshow, or you're an organizer of a sideshow, my view is you should be able to be cited. Also, your car should be able to be towed. And I'll get a little bit more into that of what I feel should go on with these cars in just a little bit. But Tuesday, we brought the ordinance back. I pushed for it to come back. It came back on Tuesday, and we got the votes on the first reading of the title of the ordinance. And the ordinance is listed in our packet, that yes, we're going to be moving forward to citing spectators, citing organizers. It will come back for a second adoption, or an actual adoption, a reading and then an adoption, in about 30 days, and then it'll take effect 30 days after that. So what can you do as a resident? What you can do is reach out to your elected representatives and make sure that when this comes back for the actual adoption of the ordinance in 30 days, that your elected representative pushes for it and votes for it. We've seen things in the past where, hey, it sounds good, and we get the first out of the way, the introduction out of the way. And then it comes back, and when it comes back, we've seen it where, well, some people get cold feet and we don't vote for it and the thing dies. It's not what we're looking for here. We need to put a stop to these. Think about it this way. If it's your family member with, heaven forbid, a house burning or a child choking or somebody having a heart attack, somebody having a baby, do we really want to be stuck in a sideshow and not be able to get through, or emergency services can't get through? Or Do we want to start focusing on these and citing individuals? We're past the first hump. The introduction, it passed 4-0, meaning we're moving on to the second, which is the adoption. So in about 30 days, you'll see that come back to adopt the ordinance, and then 30 days after that, the actual ordinance will be in place. I'm going to continue to push for towing of vehicles, but right now I just wanted to get the ordinance moving forward to be able to cite not only organizers but also spectators. And then we'll continue to push about towing vehicles. There already are provisions to tow vehicles, but the question really becomes, how long can we hold these vehicles, etc. Let's just get this ordinance on the books. And again, what can you do? Push your elected representatives to vote for this in 30 days. We're over the first hurdle. Now we've got number 2 coming to actually adopt the ordinance. Let's make sure no elected officials get cold feet in the final hours of this thing, and let's get this law on the books. My opinion is this thing should be county-wide. We're dealing with this, we're regional. So in other words, if they're in Antioch, where are they going next? They're going to Oakley, they're going to Brentwood, they're going to Pittsburgh, they're going to Concord, or maybe they came from the west and they're moving out east. These are problems for all of us in our local communities, and we all need to band together and make sure that we put a stop to this. This is reckless. This is dangerous for our communities. It's causing property damage. It's causing all the local communities money. We need to put a stop to this immediately. Push your elected representative, please, in 30 days to vote for the adoption of this ordinance. So 30 days after that, that law takes effect. My name is Mike Barbanica. I'm running for Contra Costa County Supervisor, District 5. Thank you.